Some like it hot. Some like it hot.
Welcome back to part 2 of the preview of the 7th and 8th of December shows for the Boxing Hang with me, Phil Lindsay.
Myself, Ingram Jones.
This time we're going to kick off with Brian McGee against Mikkel Kessler in Herning in Denmark. Ingram?
Okay, I did a YouTube video about this, and there are some people who actually believe that Brian McGee can win this fight. Okay, look, Brian McGee for me has been a fringe world level fighter. Yes, he won that as an IBA belt, and he's the interim champion or something like that, but you know, when he's come up against the very best fighters in the world, he's been knocked out. Let's be honest. Bute's knocked him out. I remember the Froch fight where Froch was like the 10th round. Froch just pulled out a beautiful uppercut, bang, and knocked McGee out.
And this was a Froch in development as well. This wasn't the finished article Froch.
Exactly. People say, well, McGee's improved. Well, McGee's fought some guys and he's got some good wins. McGee's what, 37 now?
Yeah.
I don't think McGee's improved that much. He's still got that style which he has. He's still got his chin in the air. Leaves it out to dry after all these years and getting knocked out. And we've got Mikkel Kessler, who got dropped by Alan Green. People suggest that Mikkel Kessler is shot. Mikkel Kessler is because he got dropped by Green. Let's get it straight. Green is a big puncher, and this is the light heavyweight division. And you even saw Joe Kawasaki when he moved up to the light heavyweight division. He got dropped twice in 2 fights.
Yeah.
One by Bernard Hopkins and one by Roy Jones.
Yeah.
And Hopkins, really, to be honest, is no big puncher, and he dropped Kawasaki in the first round. And Kawasaki was known to have a great chin. So, and you know, in the super middleweight division, I think Kawasaki got dropped twice in his career. One got
Byron Mitchell?
Byron Mitchell was one, and the other guy was some guy, some funny name. Yeah, some guy. I think he's an Arab.
But anyway, Kawasaki's old news. Where?
So to suggest that Mikkel Kessler is old, I don't know.
I think that's a bit premature. I think people jump on that. They like to be the first ones to spot when somebody's on the slide or things
what
like
I will
that.
suggest is that Mikkel Kessler has been taking lots of rest.
What was that, sorry?
He's been getting lots of rest. Okay, the Super 6 tournament, he pulled out early on that because of an eye injury, right? And he's come back again and fought. He won the WBC light heavyweight silver or some sort of title he won against Alan Green. Don't think he even defended it. He had another fight, and then now he's back again, back at super middleweight. So I don't know. Maybe he doesn't feel like heavyweight is the division for him. But to cut a very long story short, when Kessler's ready, he gets inside and he knocks McGee out. That's it. I think I can't see McGee stand up to that sort of power, and he can stop the fight either by body shot or by, you know, the only thing McGee may have in his favour is that he's a southpaw, and he may be able to fiddle his way a few rounds. But I think once Mikkel gets inside of him, it's curtains.
Well, in terms of Kessler on the slide,
yes,
I think he has begun to fade in terms of where he was. I don't think he's the peak of what he was when he fought Kawasaki, that sort of era.
Yeah, okay, but was Kessler ever that? Was you know, what was Kessler? Is he a boxer? Is he a brawler? I mean,
he was an all-round tough fighter, really. I mean, he did well against Froch. It was a cracking fight.
Yeah, but he's one pace. Kessler. He's always been all at one pace. For all his fights, he's been one pace. He's never had that extra gear. That's why Kawasaki was able to make adjustments.
Yeah. And
then for the second half of the fight, he was, you know, and once the Kawasaki started landing body shots on Kessler started backing up, and then got Kessler fighting on the back foot, and from that, Kawasaki was able to win the fight.
Well, I see Kessler, the way he's looking at things at the moment, it's all about getting back in with Froch. It's why he's going ringside when Froch is fighting.
Yeah.
I think there's a mutual respect between the two, and it's a matter of if they can get the WBA belt,
Yes.
Which I think is either interim or something's on the cards for this on Saturday.
Yeah.
It makes it a big match for the return with Froch.
Yes.
I see McGee at 37, exactly how you called it. I think he's a European level fighter who's been found out when he's gone to world level.
Yeah.
I think he's done well to maintain his career as long as he has.
He has.
He's generally in reasonable fights without any spectacular fights. I just don't see him as a... He's never really excited me. I've always wanted to be, because he's like you say with the southpaw. I've always thought he could have been more than what he was with a different mentality.
Yeah, he's always been one of those guys you watch him for. Oh, I'm gonna watch Brian McGee tonight, and you watching the fight and thinking this guy could do so much more, and then bang, he gets knocked out. You know that was around the time where I actually was looking for somebody to beat Froch. When Froch was going through the ranks, I wanted somebody to derail Froch back in those days, because Kawasaki was the man at the time. You know, and
he was calling him out early.
Oh yeah.
Long before he was ready.
Yeah. So, you know, and I wanted to see him get beat. So,
well, I've got my prediction for this fight. I'll not have too much input there, because I agree with virtually everything you've said there regarding the two of them. So in terms of predictions,
Robin Reed knocked him out as well, didn't he?
Robin Reed knocked McGee out.
Yeah. Robin Reed fought McGee as well for the IBO Super Middleweight Championship.
That may well have been. Once again, it's a prime example with McGee. You tend to forget some of his fights.
Yeah. Because Robin Reed's won every version of the... or he fought for every version of the title, I believe. Titles. So,
he's
yeah.
not finished yet, I'm sure. As they bring new alphabet soup titles out and things like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of McGee and Kessler, prediction, and if going by stoppage, what round are you looking for?
Kessler within... I said before Kessler within 10, but I'm going to shorten it. Kessler within 8.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't say what I've got written down on my piece of paper here, which is Kessler round 7.
Okay. Kessler within 8.
Well, differentials on everything so far.
Okay.
Now, I know you're going to have a few things to say on this next one, Ingram.
Yes.
Mr. Chunky DeGale against Fulgencio Zuniga.
Alright, James DeGale, if you're watching the show, man, I love you. Love you, man. Love you.
Much love.
Much love. Much love. Really talented, won the Olympic gold, British champion, now European champion. But bruv, in a nutshell, you need some technical help, and quickly. The bottom line, the reason why I'm saying this is this: James DeGale, from what I've noticed, when he started his career, he used all those nice boxing skills and talent and moved around the ring, flashy moves, good combination puncher, getting out of the way of punches, and the crowd did not like him for that. The crowd turned against him. The crowd turned against him even more so when he fought, and even though he got those knockouts, he started standing in the pocket with guys. He fought George Groves. We all know what happened there. Some people thought that DeGale won the fight. I thought Groves would run for most of the fight, and I thought DeGale won it by a point, but never mind. Whatever happened.
I had Groves by 1 or 2.
Okay, so it's alright. So you're one of those that supported Groves, fine.
But anyway, you won it early and just stayed ahead for me.
Some people on my YouTube page called it a glorified amateur bout. But anyway, now you know, they always give people who've got an opinion, just like us. So you got to respect their opinion. But to cut a very long story short, James DeGale, for me, looks like an accident waiting to happen. And I say it because of this. James DeGale, in his last couple of bouts, has been in, I wouldn't call life and death struggle. When he fought for the European Championship, he could have fought that fight so much easier if it was James DeGale that boxed and moved. Instead, he's standing in front of opponents and allowing them to hit him on the chin. DeGale's got a good chin, alright? I'm not knocking DeGale. Huh?
It's a good job he has.
It's a good job he has got a good chin, because if he didn't have a good chin, I think DeGale would be, we wouldn't be talking about DeGale in the way that we are. His chin and his heart has kept him through. But you can't keep going back your chin and your heart. you've got to be using your boxing skills. And since he's been with Jimmy McDonald's got him in great shape. Great shape. But technically, DeGale, as an Olympic champion, sitting on the ropes and taking punches, unnecessary punches on the ropes, I'm sorry, that's an accident waiting to happen.
So you think he's actually gone backwards?
Absolutely gone backwards. He's gone backwards.
Well, what I say about James DeGale, if you think about it, before the George Groves and even after the George Groves fight, it was all talk about within 12 to 18 months winning a world title.
Yes.
Now, if you look at his fighting Saturday, and he's also due to fight in January as well, against a similar stamped opponent to who he's got on Saturday.
Yes.
Which says to me, which bear in mind after his last fight or the fight before, he spoke very candidly afterwards and admitted that he had things to work on. It was a work in progress, as opposed to the previous furore of I'm going to be world champion within 12 months.
Yes.
Now, the fact he's taken on these, don't even think Saturday's for the European title. I think it's an international belt or something like that.
You sure? I think it is. I think he's defending his European title.
It might be. It's one or the other. He's either fighting for the international belt in January or Saturday, and then vice versa with the other one. But it's the level of fighter that steady, certainly winning records, lost a few each. You certainly wouldn't expect him to struggle too much against this level, and it's a matter of previously with James DeGale, he didn't fight often enough, so they are addressing that. But it's like you say, there's no use fighting more often if you're not going to correct things in between those fights in terms of technically, defensively.
And the other thing whenever I see James DeGale, he always looks like he's overtrained. He looks like he's overtrained. He's left his best in the gym.
Well, there's Jim McDonald again in terms of motivational, maybe trying to get too much out of him, peaking too early.
No, I don't. I rate McDonald as a fitness coach. That's it. Technically, what can McDonald teach him? DeGale needs a trainer like Roger Mayweather, somebody who knows that style inside out. You know, people that train Broner, they know that style inside out. McDonald doesn't know that.
No.
Look at McDonald's style as a fighter. He came fight, he put his hands up, you know, and he had some ability. But he was getting caught with big left hooks and big right hands by Zuma Nelson, you know, and getting counted over the top all the time.
McDonald is a fighter that was the same as a trainer. He had more heart and conditioning than he had ability.
Yeah, that's it. He got where he got through hard work. James DeGale has got more than just hard work and a heart. He's got boxing skills. Bruv, get yourself a technical trainer and fast. You keep Jim McDonald to get you fit, but you need a technical trainer and fast before you find yourself getting knocked out. I'm sorry.
I will ask you a question on that then, Ingram. Generally, most fighters tend to wait until they get beat before they think, that's it, I'm going to change trainers.
We spoke about this about Ronnie Heffron last week, and I told you about Ronnie Heffron. Ronnie Heffron was doing the same old things, fight after fight. And as he was moving slowly up in levels, he started to get tagged with more punches. And in the last fight against Peter McDonald, you saw what the best of Heffron was, you know. And then you saw Bradley Saunders absolutely make a mockery of Peter McDonald. McDonald, exactly. So for me, levels and.
Well, the thing is, if you get away with it, or some people or some fighters, trainers, whatever, they think if you get the win, you are getting away with it, which I don't agree with that, because if you make the same mistakes early in your career and you make them again and again, you're getting into those negative habits, and they will find you out as you go up in levels, as Ronnie Heffron did.
Yes,
James DeGale, maybe part of it is because he's been quite high profile.
It's the
people are working him out, and they know they need to get him on the ropes. People have shown how you can do well against him, and it's like you say, it's a matter of, I mean, all fighters get caught on the ropes at some point. It's a matter of how long he's spending on there and how often he's getting caught on there.
You look at his amateur career, when people had him against Rocks, what did he do?
He spun.
Right. What's he doing now?
Standing.
Rope-a-dope. That sounds to me that somebody's spoken in his ear and told him, yeah, James, stay on the ropes. Somebody who wants to see, who bring crowds in and want people to, you know, he'd be fan-friendly. Forget being fan-friendly, win your fights.
Well, he's winning them, and if you look at Tyson Fury last weekend, Tyson Fury did exactly what he had to do and what he should do in that fight, and he had the crowd booing, just like they booed DeGale earlier on in his career.
Yeah.
DeGale is getting, his fights are more exciting to watch now because of his failings. So if he's deliberately allowing himself to do this where he feels comfortable at that level, you can say from a fan's point of view, because bear in mind he was public enemy number one after the Groves thing, because he was the pantomime villain that sold that fight.
Yeah. But it was him that made the fight. Let's be honest. It was DeGale that made the fight. He was the one.
So if he's getting away with this while he can at this level and being in more exciting fights, then...
Well, let's put it this way. Can you imagine him get on the ropes against a puncher like Kessler?
I don't think Kessler will be fast enough to keep him pinned down. I think DeGale's movement at this stage, a younger Kessler, constant pressure, yes, but like you've mentioned, he's at that one pace, he doesn't really have that extra gear, and I think DeGale would be comfortable with Kessler. But that's just me.
I think what you're taking out there is that one punch heavy-handedness that Kessler has.
Oh, he's very heavy-handed, but in terms of predictions for DeGale's fight on Saturday,
I don't know. I didn't even bother looking at the opponent. You know, I expect another sort of like life and death struggle with DeGale. I don't expect to see much improvements from him, to be honest. And I'm not being harsh on you, bruv. It's just the way I see it. Yeah, he may get the win, but if he got knocked out, I would be surprised. That's how it is now with me. I think DeGale, until he changes his trainer, it's an accident waiting to happen. So I can't.
In terms of predictions for Saturday, are you going to predict an accident this Saturday, or are you going to go for?
I expect DeGale to win the fight, but
points or stoppage.
DeGale win. That's all I'm going to say. But if he got dropped or knocked out in his next fight, I would not be surprised. And I'm not being harsh, brother. I'm just calling it as it is. You're saying that this guy now has only got picked by the very best. He's got a few losses on his record.
Yeah.
If he's got any ambition, then it's going to be an interesting fight. And if he can take your punches, then because I don't think DeGale's a big puncher. I think he's a concussive puncher. I don't think he's a knockout, one punch knockout artist.
Not one, no. Zuniga's 35, and I think he's going to tire. And I see DeGale taking them out in round up 9 or 10. I'm going to plump for 9.
Okay, if you're going to push me to the wire, I'm going to go DeGale 10.
You're going to go 10? Alright, I said 9 or 10. I don't know. I'm only joking. I'm
I've got to say it as it is, bro. You know how it is. I've just got an opinion. Just a thought.
So also on that bill, we've got Kid Galahad against Ivan Ruiz Morote of Spain.
Right, Kid Galahad is supposedly one of the biggest, best kept secret in British boxing. I heard a rumour and a story from somebody that Kid Galahad used to give Kell Brook lots of problems in the gym and used to give him often beat him up in the gym. Don't know how true that is. Again, I don't know. I've seen Kid Galahad once or twice. He looks okay. He's got some skills. I need to watch him again to make an assessment.
Yes.
To be honest, I suppose he'll probably go in and put a good performance on. Is it a 10-round bout?
I think it is. He's the guy he's fighting. He's got a 15-2-1 record. Out of his 2 losses, he's been stopped once, and out of his 15 wins, he's stopped 7. But again, it's been in Spain, and there's no notable names on the record.
Galahad within 5.
You're going to Galahad when?
5.
5. Well, I've noted number 8.
Yep.
Again, in terms of ages, we've got Galahad 22, very hungry. He's sort of coming through on the quiet behind the 3-pronged attack of the Frampton and the boxing bin man. Names just go sometimes.
The boxing bins man. Monroe.
Reynolds Monroe, yes, and Frampton and Scott Quigg. Whereas Galahad's been coming back. I love the name Kid Galahad, by the way. When I was a kid, that was my favourite Elvis Presley movie. All because of the boxing. I love that movie. I'm showing my age now. But I've gone Galahad round 8. I think he's done everything right so far. He hasn't really been asked any serious questions, but he's done what he's had to do, and he's done it quite tidily.
Okay, so you can keep that out.
And obviously we've also got Eubank Jr. fighting on the bill as well, so I'm sure he'll get a view. I don't even know who he's fighting yet.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll win. It'll be a fight against somebody who really won't be too hard an opponent. They'd be crazy to put in somebody difficult. I was happy to see, happy to see him in the ring with somebody that we knew, which was Bradley Price. Again, Eubank hits his punch power. Will be interesting to see what happens with somebody who can take the shot and push him backwards and punch hard themselves. What he does. But now it's still work in progress, and so I expect Eubank to win. You know.
Oh yeah, like I said, I don't know who he's fighting yet. Just in terms of giving a heads up for those who are going to be tuning into Channel 5. You've got the DeGale, you've got the... Is Kid Galahad going to be fighting on 5? Is he on Sky, do you know? I think he's on 5, isn't he?
Okay.
It'd be interesting to see if it's... Because you've got a few fighters going across to Mick Hennessy at the moment in terms of getting mainstream TV coverage.
In a story that how Mick Hennessy offered David Price the opportunity to come over to join him to promote the fight.
Yeah, I think there's going to be conversations about those two ongoing, but I don't want to take up this weekend shows with that one. But we've got 3 more fights to cover on the big American bill, including Manny Pacquiao against Juan Manuel Marquez. So we'll tie this one up and we'll come back. We'll do episode 3 very soon.
Some like it hot, some like it hot.